ESPN New York. Hello. Try Sean from Queens. Are we good to go here? Sean, you're on ESPN New York. Sean, are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey.
Yeah, I think we need a new coach, man. D'Antoni is a horrible coach, man. As long as he's
who do you want as the next coach?
Who
do you want?
Jeff Van Gundy.
What happens if he doesn't want the job? Who's your next choice?
I would take Van Gundy. Let's
Lenny Wilkins.
Lenny Wilkins. Bring back Lenny Wilkins.
Lenny Wilkins, thanks for the call, buddy. Lenny Wilkins is one of the most overrated coaches in NBA history, please. So is Don Nelson. Don't give me the sheer amount of victories. They lost a ton of games.
I'll take Lenny over Don Nelson.
I'll take Lenny over Don as well.
Stephen A., if the Knicks go in another direction, D'Antoni doesn't work out, D'Antoni doesn't fit with the 2 stars, whatever else, where are they going next for a coach?
That's a difficult question. I really don't know the answer to that at this moment in time because I haven't even thought about it. I mean, you got a guy that's getting $6 million a year. He's in the midst of a $24 million contract, and he came along with Donnie Walsh. And then when you look at some of the bright young coaches out there, me personally, I look at a guy like Sam Mitchell and the job that he did in Toronto. He struggled at the end, but he was once coach of the year. It would be nice to see somebody like him get another opportunity, but there's a couple other coaches, and you just think about it. Me personally, I would love it if somebody, and this is as crazy as this sounds, I wish that because I think that Doc Rivers is going to win the championship this year. I think he's going to take a year off. I'd love to see Doc Rivers come into a squad like this and coaching this team for a few years in New York City in the next couple of years or so. A guy like Doc Rivers is somebody that I would love to see. But that's just me. I mean, that's just speculating right there. I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Doc Rivers.
I think that's a home run. We actually kicked that around a little bit. No, Doc Rivers, he's good. He's good. Doc is good. Interesting.
Steve from Elmont's on ESPN New York. Hey, Steve.
Hello, Steve-O.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
I just want y'all to think about possible trades, man. We talking probably Billups player for player, Billups for Nash.
Why would I want to do that?
I'm just, D'Antoni's ties, man. He loves Steve Nash.
I don't care. Team opposing point guards salivate at the prospect of going against Steve Nash because they know he can't defend them at all. That's a problem.
Yeah, Steve Nash, that chapter's shut. Yeah. Thanks for the call, buddy. I thought the value, if there was any with Steve, and certainly a great player, but when D'Antoni first came here, you need somebody to help implement the system, make the transition a little bit easier. No, that ship has sailed. The answer's not Steve Nash. I'm with you. No way.
Jeff from Manhattan's up on ESPN New York. Hey, Jeff.
Hi. Just a couple points I'd like to make. Let's forget about the trade itself and bringing Carmelo here. Overall, I think it's a good thing. I just want to get to sort of the day after, Jody. You've been touching on this. And a couple points. One, we would have not been able to be in this position as far as salary cap and the assets that we did give away had it not been for what Donnie Walsh had done for this franchise.
Yeah, we outlined that a while ago. You're right. You're right.
Two, I think this trade, and I sort of agree with Jody in that, we could have played poker for a couple of days longer and see what happens. It has all the marks to me of Isaiah again, overpaying. I mean, and what bothers me on all of this is, are we moving now into an era, whether it's unofficial or official, where Isaiah is going to have much more influence again? And we've got to look at the historical perspective. I mean, he left the Knicks in an utterly disastrous
He was a complete mess.
Complete mess.
Awful.
And this is what bothers me. Yes, we have Melo. We have Amari. Great. That's terrific. What comes next? Who's calling the shots?
Here's what bothers me. How we're running away with stuff. Isaiah Thomas, does he talk to Dolan? I'm quite sure he does.
Yes.
Or do they consider one another friends?
Yes.
Obviously they do. So what? That doesn't mean that everybody's bouncing to Isaiah Thomas's tune. Did it ever occur to anybody that, you know what, the reason why Carmelo Anthony is here is because, by and large, the New York Knicks as an organization knew that they needed to get him because they damn sure didn't need to lose him to the New Jersey Nets. It's really that simple.
Well, Steve, I want to ask you a serious question, all right? Yes. Do you think, and I really don't know your answer, all right, because with you back on the station, because we go back a ways and we're tight, people, sometimes you say something and then they tweet at me, and I didn't hear you say it, so I wanted to straight up ask you. Do you believe that Donnie Walsh is an impediment, an obstacle in recruiting young, vibrant athletes to New York at this stage of his life. Do you believe that?
I don't believe that totally, but I do believe that was the case with LeBron to some degree at one point, because it was something that LeBron had mentioned to several people prior to Miami. Mm-hmm. Now that doesn't jibe completely, because I happen to have known about 2 to 3 weeks in advance that he was going to Miami, and that was before that he had met with Donnie Walsh and the New York Knicks. But whoever Donnie Walsh had been communicating with directly or indirectly, ultimately what happened was LeBron James and his camp felt like that wasn't somebody that they could relate to. You got a lot of people speculating about it, calling it unfair, whatever the case may be.
Well, it's also a cop-out.
I'm going like this. Mm-hmm. They can kick rocks. The fact is that what we're talking about here is what people believe. We're not talking about how valid it is. There's a lot of things that's invalid. There's a lot of things that's unfair. Donnie Walsh is to be respected. Donnie Walsh is to be admired for what he's accomplished throughout his NBA career. But that doesn't negate the fact that some players of a younger generation may not appreciate it or relate to it in any way, and how that could factor into the equation of recruiting. You got Pat Riley and Donnie Walsh, who's more attractive and appealing to you to play for. It's really very simple. It would be Pat Riley. People like his style. People like the way he carries himself. People like the fact that he's in South Beach, whatever the case may be. All of those little factors come into the equation once money is not the issue, because you know you can get it from a multitude of places. They take other things into consideration, and that leads to them making the decisions that they make, whether it's ill-advised or not.
Stephen, I appreciate you coming on with us for a bunch of time. We'll catch you when next here, on Friday night?
Yeah, I guess so. Probably sooner than that. I'll definitely be at the Garden tomorrow night, I can tell you that much.
So will I. Thanks, bud. See you, Steve. All right. I mean, the notion that the Knicks needed Isaiah Thomas to land Carmelo Anthony is ridiculous. The reason why the Knicks were able to get Carmelo Anthony is because they've got cap space. They already had a superstar here. It's a vibrant, diverse city. He's from Brooklyn, and it's a great arena. And if you want to spin it any other way, go ahead and be my guest. And Stephen, I thought, was very fair to Dolan, to Donnie Walsh right there, the way he kind of, I guess, draws it up. But I really think that LeBron was scared of New York City. I don't think he wanted that responsibility. I think it's a cop-out. I think it's an easy excuse to kind of throw that out there at another man's expense, another man who's done a lot in the NBA. That's Donnie Walsh.
Couple quickies, then we got to get a timeout and an update in. Mm-hmm. Number one, money. M-O-N-E-Y. I'll take Stephen at his word that his source is so good that Carmelo was going to sign with the Nets. Well, there was a reason he was going to sign with the Nets. He wanted his money. He wanted the payday. He didn't want to take the risk. He didn't want to go to free agency. New York, yes. La being in a media capital, yes. Coming home, playing with Amari, all those things, yes. They all take a backseat to money. That's my read on the situation. And number two, they got Amari to come here, and they didn't have Isaiah to have anything to do with that recruitment.
But some people tell you that without Isaiah. Exactly.
Except Amari, who said, I met him once after I signed.
Exactly.
I met him at Dolan's party the day after I put my name on the contract.
It was not true. The recruitment of Amari was not spearheaded by Isaiah.
He had nothing to do with it.
Oh, boy. All right, you know what? I think we're done yapping for a little bit here. Thanks again to Stephen A., by the way. But we want to hear what you guys have to say, so we're going to come back, and we'll get a Sports Center and pound the phones, 800-919-3776. Mac and Tierney Show. Melo in the house. So are we, right here, ESPN New York.